I mean, there's nothing more boring than sitting in a courtyard watching children play. At UCLA. I'm there to learn something. I got a D in both classes. I hated those suckers.
Well, did you get a D because you deserved D or because the discrimination?
Who cares?
She's back for another episode, guys.
Thank
Our
God.
lovely Grandma Gwen is back, and this time she's also joined with Josh here in this episode. He was missing in the previous episode, and Josh begged our grandma to stay so we could record one with Josh in the room.
It was awkward.
It was embarrassing. No,
Thank you, Josh.
I was in the background listening to the previous podcast, and you were dropping, as I said, pearls of wisdom, and it would be our mistake to not have you on again.
So quiet and peaceful this time. You were all words.
It was all fun and games.
Yeah, now you're all
She
she was
serious
asking
business.
for wine. You didn't get her any. So.
Hey, I don't live here anymore, so
We have wine. I can get
where
wine.
They keep the wine.
You want
No,
some
I don't
wine?
want to keep the wine.
Wine?
Where's the
Yeah.
wine in here?
What about wine?
You want wine?
See?
Do you want any wine?
My eyes lit up.
Will someone get this lady some wine?
You like
She wants some wine.
you like red?
Cody? Yeah.
I have
some
to
red.
drive home.
That's just one.
No,
glass.
I'll have a little glass. I'll have a little glass.
They say okay.
You twisted my arm.
Perfect. I'll get that there.
All right.
Aren't you guys going to join me?
Yeah.
I'll take a glass,
Yes.
Cody. Whatever you have.
Yeah.
Hey,
Some
what's Cody
red.
gonna get for a glass
White
of
or
wine?
red? So our subject today is,
Well,
Humor.
Humor.
you know any good jokes?
I don't know. Do you know?
Fresh out.
Again, where do you get your sense of humor from? How does humor come to you? Like
Yeah.
you seem to be laughing at
Oh,
everything.
I'd have made a wonderful stand-up comic.
Would have, but
I surprise myself sometimes. I come up with these one-liners. They're just out there.
Joel,
And
you getting
people
this?
around me are
Yeah,
laughing.
I'm writing this down.
What?
You should do
amazing.
a open mic night.
Yeah.
I know you should
At
go.
my house?
Well,
Yep.
at your house.
Joke,
by yourself.
joke like no one's watching. Joke like no one's listening.
I'm gonna create a T-shirt.
Oh, I love Izzy. Izzy, the comedian. He's a kind of a trans.
British?
What?
Is he British?
Yes.
Is he? Yeah.
Izzy Izzard.
Izzy Izzard.
Yeah. He's very acerbic. He's
I
very,
went
like,
to
yeah,
Santa
yeah,
Barbara to see him. He is hysterical.
He is funny. He's a funny guy.
You used
He
to take
is
us.
hysterical,
You used to
literally.
take us to the improv as little kids all the time. I never forgot that. I was like, who
Yes, I
takes their?
loved improv.
I remember we used to have a fun time with those things. I was like, this is. I don't ever go do this. You're the only person that was like, we're gonna go to the improv.
Right,
Okay,
right.
we're
Have you
just-
guys been to any improv
You know
where
what?
the audience
Yeah.
participates?
So
Joel, wait. Sorry.
I have never, but I am gonna kick myself for the rest of my days because I was just in Chicago and I had the opportunity to go to
same
Second City, and I didn't go.
Oh man.
Sorry, guys. Anyways, Joel, go ahead.
I was gonna say after that depressing news. I went last time I went to improv. It was here in Seattle, and one of the people from our group got called up to go on stage and like perform with them.
No way.
Yeah,
Crazy.
It was pretty hilarious.
Did they do well?
Actually, yes, because that friend also did improv
Oh.
in LA.
All right.
Awesome. How fitting.
So they
Yeah.
were used to it.
How fitting.
You know what I appreciate is I feel like on our videos online you have commented on them with a lot of accolades, and that's like my oxygen.
Impunity.
Yeah. No, it's how I live my life. I just wait for you to comment on our videos.
Yeah, it seems like it's a cliche thing that your grandma's always your biggest fan, and in this case, I think it is. Every time I see you, you're like, that podcast is just the best.
That's right. I love your podcast.
What's your
I
favorite?
think
What's
they're-
your favorite one so far?
The what?
What's your favorite podcast so far?
Episode that we've done.
Oh, something Joel said about keeping your attorney on speed dial.
No, yeah.
That was my favorite one too.
That made him spit take.
Yeah. God. That
Oh, that was fabulous, Joel.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Joel's finest moment.
Yeah.
On a podcast.
Only finest moment.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
you
here
guys-
comes the
look
wine.
at this.
Here comes the
Oh,
wine.
thank you very much. That's great.
So that was your favorite episode that we've done. Was
Yeah,
that,
there've been lots of great ones, but that one
was
I just about spit
Yeah.
too. I don't know why that hit home.
I absolutely know where you're coming from. I don't know why.
Well, because I wanted a divorce once, and I thought, I should have thought of that.
That's why.
You have to have been there and done that.
All right, so let me ask you this. What is the thing that you've heard that you disagreed with the most in our podcast?
That I disagree with?
Yeah.
Nothing. I think you guys are. I have no
liar.
criticism.
Now you're just being a grandma.
Yeah. It's
Come
probably
on.
nothing you can think of. I'm sure there's got to be something. You just
Oh,
can't
there's
think
got
of
to
it
be
right
something.
now.
We've covered a lot of topics.
Not enough.
Not enough time.
What should we cover?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That we have not.
Good question, Lucas.
Politics?
Hey, you get out of here.
Yeah. Dangerous stuff. Dangerous stuff.
Well, religion? No.
Oh, even worse.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
7 deadly sins. I don't know. What about morality? What is morality?
Here's the thing. I would like to talk about religion only because, like, I feel like I've like learned enough to have an opinion. Politics, I just don't know enough. I can't talk intelligently about politics.
It's usually the other way around.
Yeah, I guess for most
You
people.
can talk about people in politics or issues. I make it a habit never to discuss personalities in politics.
See, another pearl.
Discuss issues. Like if you want to discuss the border, illegal
Immigration.
immigration. Discuss the issue, not the persons involved. What is the issue?
See, but there's no fun in that.
Yeah.
That's why I agree. I completely agree with you. I
There's no
completely
drama
agree
in
with
that.
you. But the reason that it becomes that is because people want to talk personalities. That's exactly why like reality TV is such a thing. Is because it has nothing to do with anything. It's just I like to listen to that.
Well, I
person.
feel like it hits on what one of our previous podcasts was, which is like identity politics, which is all personality and
Right.
no issues.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But personality can get you very far in life. I mean, it's gotten a lot of
It doesn't.
very famous
it
people.
doesn't.
I don't know. I feel like it can get you. Maybe not. It can run its course.
See,
It can only
you're
get you so far.
more people oriented than I am. I'm kind of idea oriented.
Again, Ayn Rand. You're
I
an
like
Ayn
that.
Rand fan.
Pardon?
Ayn Rand.
Yeah. Okay.
Are you even more an idealist? Or
No,
a
I'm not
realist?
an idealist. No, I have no answers to idealism. It is what you make it.
If you had to
And that-
subscribe to a philosophy, what would it be? Like, of all the philosophies, is there one that you say that I'll put my stamp on this one? None.
I like Nietzsche,
Ooh.
but I also like a lot of Rorty. I like Marcus Aurelius.
You know, one of my favorite sayings ever by Nietzsche is the value of a man is directly proportional to the amount of truth he's willing to accept. That's the most genius thing I've ever heard in my life.
But what is truth?
Yeah, truth is a whole other definition.
Whatever Trump says.
We weren't going to say that
No
word.
duh.
Truth has a lowercase t and a capital T. There's many kinds of truth.
Yeah, there's the comes from the Bible. That comes from the Bible.
And then there's everything else.
It can come from there or there or there.
I remember you said to me at dinner that it was a couple of months ago. You out of nowhere, I forget what the context was. You just randomly said, "You're like, I have a purpose. I have no idea what it is, but I have one."
Oh, sure. Absolutely. Is that too vague for you?
I don't know. It's just like such a funny statement. I'm like, what?
What prompted you to decree that you had a purpose with no backing?
Well, I think Dylan and I were discussing religion.
Okay.
You know, on a personal one-on-one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can discuss it with you because he doesn't get emotional about it. I can
Yeah,
discuss
unlike
it.
this guy.
Yeah.
I get hooked up.
I haven't discussed that with him, with Cody.
Well, don't.
I'll start throwing pots and pans.
He will pepper spray you. Let me tell you.
I've never seen him lose his temper.
No kidding.
Anyway, he was saying that a religion gives you a purpose. A structured religion gives you a purpose. And that's when I said, I already know I have a purpose. Everyone has a purpose.
What's your purpose?
I just don't happen to know what it is. But that
I just got
gives you
chills. I just got chills.
that gives you such strength because you're looking for opportunities. You're looking for doors to open. Give me new information, new insights.
So you're saying you
Right.
believe you have a purpose?
To claim that you know your purpose is an assumption on your part.
Right.
Right?
Do you
I
know?
mean, you can't. It's hard to be. I mean, you could be confident and be like, "This is my purpose," but whether that's true or not, that's
subjective.
debatable.
Well, and likely you have just made that your purpose.
Right.
Yeah. So let's get down to it. What's your purpose?
Well, I've had different purposes. You ain't getting nothing from me. I've had different purposes throughout my life. Raise my children. That was my purpose.
What was your favorite purpose?
That's a loaded question.
No, it's not. It's just a question.
My favorite purpose.
Yeah. What did you
Now,
enjoy the most?
now you're in murky waters.
I know.
You're
No,
gonna,
it doesn't
you're
have
gonna
to be
offend some
murky
people.
waters. It's just what
You're gonna offend somebody if you say the wrong thing, though.
What fulfilled you the most?
What?
What fulfilled you the most? That's the same
Order.
question.
Order?
Okay, Judge, Your Honor. Sorry, God.
Order.
Let's rephrase this question. Which is your favorite grandson?
Thank you, Joel. I was trying to ask.
I've
a
always
You
question.
were
known
trying
it
to
was
get
Warren.
there?
Yeah, definitely Warren.
No, they're all individuals.
No one would pick him.
All unique individuals. I've had different types of fun with each one.
Okay, but what was your favorite purpose?
My favorite purpose.
You're not
I don't
getting
have a
nothing.
favorite purpose.
No?
You ain't gonna corner me.
I'm trying. I'm trying my best.
Trying to corner you.
Okay,
Nah.
what was in your top three?
Yeah,
What was what?
What were
What
the
was
other?
in your top three?
What were the purposes you were going to list off that you had at
Yeah.
different points?
To be a good wife.
Mm-hmm.
To be a good mother. I failed miserably at those. So I'm thinking,
I don't know. We're all here, aren't we?
Yeah, right? We invited you.
well, one aspect is I failed. When you look back, you can say that. But
In what way did you fail?
in what way doing what did I fail?
So you said as a wife and a mother. So let's start with a wife. In what way did you fail as a wife?
I married the wrong man.
Oh man, that's
Big failure.
Yeah, that'll do it.
We all got to learn, right?
Yeah.
Learn by
yeah.
no one's perfect.
No way around that one.
If I had a dime for every time it
but
became
the-
the wrong wife.
But the purpose was to get out of an unfriendly home.
Aha.
So that was the purpose in
Got
marrying.
it. Meaning like you kind of like jumped ship.
That's right. The only way to
the-
escape.
What's the old phrase? Like out of the frying pan,
Frying
to
pan,
fire.
blah,
fire.
blah, blah.
Yeah.
Oh, but I had to get out. I had to get out of that home environment, and that was the only way to do it in the 50s.
But the guy that you married paid for it, yeah. Because
Paid for it.
Well, because like
Not
he
literally,
didn't-
but like,
Well, probably.
well, that too. But.
Yeah, no.
Well,
I
he
think
worked.
because he didn't know that, but because from
I
his
don't know
perspective.
if he ever knew it, even when I walked out the door.
Oh, really?
He was watching television.
Uh-oh. He was just gone. Yeah, dead.
He says, "You're really leaving?" I said, "Yeah,"
Holy cow.
and he just continued watching television.
Wow.
That was your first husband?
American
long?
Idol.
American Idol.
I know that's
This American Idol was on.
yeah. Well, out of your worst pain comes your strongest asset.
We'll talk about a lesson you learned. How much did you learn?
From
From that whole experience.
That walking out. You learned a lot.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
You learn. Well, it's like going on a solitary a camping trip. It changes your life forever because you're on planet Earth. Nothing's going to happen to you. And I'm a survivor. So I survived that marriage. I survived camping alone, solo campsite for a weekend
Really?
out there.
How long were you married to him?
28 years.
Holy balls.
I kind of knew I was in trouble the first year,
Jeez.
I believe it.
but I married for life. No, I made that commitment.
Right. Yeah, we've talked about marriage a few times on this
Yeah.
podcast about how, especially back in the day, the 50s and 60s, and our grandpa. I mean, we weren't there. I don't know. I had a different relationship with him than you did, obviously, and Cody had a great relationship with him. I don't know. I'm kidding. I don't know. But no, like we were talking about marriages back in the 50s, how it was things were a certain way back then, especially for women. You had to do certain things, and it had to be this way. And I know that you especially have been a very prominent voice, at least in our lives, about women's rights and equality, and just like very like pro women. You've been heavily involved in educating us on that throughout the years. I mean, I strongly disagree. I think women are terrible. I'm kidding.
So stupid.
But I mean, did a lot when you left that marriage? Did you start to encompass yourself in a lot of those?
Exactly.
Is that kind of where it came from?
Exactly. I bought my own home, and I could put my shoes wherever I wanted.
Yeah.
I could sleep as late as I wanted. I could eat what I wanted. Oh my gosh, that was such a beautiful time.
Where was the house that you bought? Where?
In Oakview?
It's the
Oakview.
same one she's at.
Really?
currently.
Oh my God! You live in that house right now.
Wow.
Holy
Well, of
cow.
course.
Paid off and everything.
I would hope so.
I've been there 30 years.
Really?
I bought it 30 years ago. And that's a whole other story. For a woman trying to get a home alone,
Yeah.
everybody on Mills
Yeah.
Road refused me.
Oh man. Well,
Everybody
and-
on telephone, Victoria.
or they try to take advantage of you, right? Just giving you the worst deal.
No, that's too negative.
No?
Keep it positive.
Well, I'm just trying to. What actually happened?
No.
What actually happened wasn't.
Well,
negative.
Colonel Sanders knocked on 101 doors before he got someone
Right.
to buy his chicken, right?
That's what I've always said.
Not that-
What do you mean,
not
Colonel
to do with
Sanders?
anything.
Where did Colonel Sanders come from?
So I finally came to a bank, first nationwide, not even in business, but the
Really?
woman believed in me, and she gave me a loan.
She's regretted it ever since.
Oh no,
Didn't pay a penny back on that.
she trusted me.
Underwater as hell.
I would love the SWAT team.
That's
just come in
fantastic.
Right now.
You have scuba gear?
She trusted me.
Yeah.
Wow. So
I-
and you still live in that home?
I do.
Wow.
I do, and it's paid for.
Yeah. Like I said, I hope.
Yeah. That's fantastic.
Worst interest rate.
And along came Squeaks.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's my so back to purpose
Uh-huh.
is to have a good time. The good Lord gave me this life, and I'm gonna run with it as long as I can
So I was listening in the
without hurting anybody.
No, I am only happy when I'm hurting someone.
You know.
Yeah, I go out of my way. No, in the previous podcast, you said something that I really, really appreciated, which was, I think you were referencing Jordan Peterson, who says like life is a suffering. Yeah, yeah. So he has like a whole spiel, for lack of a better word.
Like
Yeah,
better
it's,
vernacular.
it's way more sophisticated than a
It
spiel.
works. It works.
Yeah,
he
but-
comes out, he's like, I got the spiel I'm going to give
yeah,
you.
exactly.
I love that word, spiel.
That's a
Well,
good
and
one.
to be honest, like if you listen to him talk about it, like there's like it's hard to debate, but at the same time, I agree with what you were saying, which it doesn't have to be suffering. Like there's some philosophies about like lighten up, like it can be fun. You don't have to take it so seriously, and it's all about perspective, and there is a valuable perspective of lightheartedness. Which it sounds like you ascribe to, which I think is very valuable.
It's self-rewarding.
Yeah. And what's the alternative, right? Just being too serious, being depressed.
Have you ever been around negative people?
All the time.
Mr. Negative over there. Well, like, is negativity, I'm assuming, is a trait you don't like, but what's another trait that you see in people that you immediately are turned off by, that you go,
Talk too much.
Oh
So-
God, I'm out. I'm sorry. I apologize in advance.
yeah, talk too much.
No, empty talk. A lot of empty talk.
So, small talk is what you talk to.
A high fog index.
High fog index.
I like that.
Yeah, I've never heard of that
Like a
before.
politician.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk and talk and talk
Just
and
in
talk.
circles.
Yeah.
Talk. What do you say?
What's he saying?
Didn't even answer the question.
I want you to be a commentator on like CNBC. What do you say?
What's it saying?
So on top of not being able to hear him, I don't even get the gist.
Just Yeah. Moderate presidential debates, please. What'd you say?
What'd he say? Everyone just standing ovation every time.
Just answer the question.
Just get to the point, would you? Please.
That's why I like Judge Judy.
Oh man. Yeah.
Right down to the point.
No, but really, like,
I'm a leader.
dude, you are so much healthier than I am now.
Yeah, but that's a pretty low bar, Josh.
Be fair.
You'd be a .01 and still be higher. It's better than 0.
Like, if
So name your issues.
if I make it to 80, something went wrong. Like no one.
Something went
What are
yeah,
you now?
Someone's confused.
35?
I'm 36.
36?
Yeah, but thank
Oh,
you.
those are sweet years.
Where were you when you were 36?
Oh yeah, that's a good question.
36, I was married to
Married,
my
Mr.
first husband.
Living in Oakview.
No, Ventura.
Somewhere around here.
Going
On
to
Skyline?
school. It took me 20 years to get my bachelor's.
Ah, what was the bachelor's in?
I started out in mathematics, but there was so much discrimination.
How so?
yeah.
What'd they do?
Yeah,
Well, at UCLA,
yeah.
in the late 60,
I bet.
I signed up for mathematics, and I went to a counselor, and he crossed it out. And he wrote in child development
Oh.
and home
jeez.
economics.
Oh my God.
Wow.
No, I believe
And
it. I believe
had
it.
absolutely no support. My mom didn't even want me to be going to college. I didn't have a pastor. I didn't have.
Anybody?
So I was lucky to get in. Of course, you have to be pretty smart to get in. I found out later.
Yeah, it gets you every time.
Yeah, it's just a happy
I'm
coincidence.
impressed. I'm impressed myself.
It'll get you. Yeah.
So
big standards.
I took those friggin' classes. I mean,
right.
there's nothing more boring than sitting in a courtyard watching children play. At UCLA, I'm there to learn something.
You know what?
was not
I try to watch him play. The judge told me I gotta stay at least 500 feet away.
I got a D in both classes. I hated those suckers.
Well, did you get a D because you deserved D or because the discrimination?
Who cares?
It doesn't matter, Josh.
You know what?
Not the point.
Sorry, Francis.
Who cares?
I'm not going to
That's
analyze
the best
it now.
answer.
Who cares?
So the following semester, I signed up for math. I did not go see a counselor.
Okay.
So I just went to class.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds kind of like a spy.
And I get into the class, and there's all these men
Yeah.
with a male professor, of
Oh,
course.
yeah, I'm sure.
Right.
And he says, "Hey, fellas,
Oh my God.
Oh.
have you noticed
Oh no.
we have a woman in the class?"
No, he didn't.
Wow.
He said that.
Wow.
Absolutely, he said that.
He called you out.
Absolutely.
Jeez Louise.
You wonder why I want women to succeed.
Because of this crap.
Yeah. I don't.
So I was going to stay in that class.
That's right.
I was getting, you grow in independence.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen.
Well, it's like a
overnight.
challenge, right? It's a challenge.
It's a challenge,
Yeah.
right? So I just sat in the back of the class the whole semester, did my homework.
Just looking all pretty.
Nobody bothered me. They ignored me, but they didn't bother me.
And?
I got a B. I was really happy.
All
All right. Okay.
Ooh, way to go.
That's right.
Not bad. So then,
I'm sure a lot of those dudes didn't get B's.
yeah.
I don't know, I don't compare myself to any. I'm an outlier.
You ever read Malcolm Gladwell?
I don't know.
It's a book called Outliers. You would like it.
Yeah, but that word existed before the book, John.
No, it did not.
That's why I live in Oakview. I don't belong to Ventura. I don't belong to Ojai.
Somewhere in the middle.
I'm in Oakview.
Well, I wonder, like, when you look back on we asked our other grandparents before they passed away. You've lived through a lot of really interesting decades through the 20th century. When you look back, what was the decade that stands out the most to you?
60s.
That was the same exact one they said. They're like the 60s for sure. It was an
Really?
interesting time.
We're all products of our generation.
Right.
So everybody in my generation, we were the silent generation.
Mm-hmm.
We did what we were told. Sit down, shut up, be quiet,
Right.
follow orders. That was the 40s and the 50s. Now the 60s come along, and they ain't taking that S-H-I-T anymore.
Yeah. No, that's what it was about.
By that time, I was married with 2 kids. But I was behind those students throwing bricks through windows.
Yeah.
And with the assassination, the Vietnam War.
A lot happened in the 60s. I wasn't
That
there,
had to
but-
be an intense time.
Yeah, it had to be.
Pardon?
That had to be an intense time.
It was, but I was knee deep in diapers, so I really,
So it was an intense time whether you liked it or not.
For other
on
reasons.
all levels.
Yeah. That was your own Vietnam.
You had your own
We're taking
war.
napalm fire.
Yeah, she lost that war.
Yeah.
I lost that war, but man, I was behind them. I remember going to San Jose State and after a riot, and I'd walk through the tear gas residue, and my eyes would water.
Really?
Yeah, I was right. I was there in spirit.
Wow.
But 60s.
So what was the craziest event you remember in your lifetime? You've lived through a
Participating in?
lot of... either or.
Or
Like a
living during?
Either one. Either one.
Traumatic would be Kennedy's assassination.
Wow. I can't imagine what that's like. I mean, imagine us, like, you hear about the president being assassinated.
That's crazy.
Well, half of
Yeah,
the
it would be
population wouldn't care now.
Well, yeah.
But during Kennedy,
But you know what? I bet if there was a positive outcome, it would be the like realization of like, hey, there's like it's a human.
Yeah.
Right.
Whether,
You know.
whether you disagree with them or not.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
terrible.
and
Yeah.
it would suddenly like highlight the humanity of someone. Unfortunately,
And
it would probably take.
and it
that.
would shake our confidence of security, right? We feel
Oh, absolutely.
just invincible as it is now.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like if that happened, it's like anything could happen at any second.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, and you lived through that. I mean, do you remember where you were when you heard about
oh
that?
yeah, everybody does.
Where were you?
Who was living at the time? I was in Woodland Hills with 2 girls in diapers.
Yeah. Shut that TV off.
Yeah.
I'm curious. You've lived through Kennedy's assassination and 9/11. How would those compare or not compare? Because we've obviously lived through 9/11. That's kind of our version of like, you know, that type of event.
Mine was the OJ verdict.
Yeah. Would was just into
I was
that.
a Matrix
He
coming
still
in.
hasn't gotten over it.
Yeah. I was only like 7 years old. I'm like, what?
Innocent.
Dylan was rioting in Ventura. Anyways.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
For me personally, it was Kennedy.
Yeah.
Because on 9/11, Harry was glued to the television set watching the towers fall, and I said, I'm out of here. I'm going to go grocery shopping.
Just like didn't compute. Like
Yeah,
you
yeah,
just
yeah.
were on with
I'm
your day.
sorry I did that because I should have
Sure.
stayed home.
Sure.
Yeah.
I had to get that grocery shopping.
Priorities, right?
Yeah. You're gonna be a
Roll
good
on
wife.
dryers.
I mean, I calculated with my first husband how many hours I grocery shopped.
Oh my God.
Jeez.
Did you really?
I did.
Why?
To show him how much I work.
Oh my God. That poor man. God have mercy on his
28 years, okay, 2
Oh, here we
hours a
go.
week.
soul. All right. Let's
2
hear it.
hours a week.
Let's hear it.
grocery
Let's do it. Come on. Bring it on.
2 hours.
By the
Oh.
time I get in the car, get to the store, put the food in the basket, put the food in the sacks, put it in the car,
Yeah. What is he doing?
Bring it-
Sitting at home.
bring it home, put it in the cupboards. That's 2 hours. Times 28 years.
That idiot.
So how did you know, like, when that marriage was ending, like, I'm assuming after you left, did you ever think that you were ever going to get married again?
No,
You never did?
I didn't want to.
No. I'm sure, like, at the time, it's
No.
like, you're
No.
like, never again. But
No, I didn't. I wasn't that adamant.
Mm-hmm.
You know, tried it once, didn't work.
The
Try
whole
that
marriage
out.
thing.
On to the next phase.
Yeah,
Until
yeah.
you met Harry.
Yeah.
That's when I met Harry, 10 years after I divorced.
Okay,
Well, I
so-
met him actually in 1 year, but I waited.
So I was, again, the previous podcast, I was behind the scenes listening, and I was very fascinated about, because I didn't know him. I didn't know Harry. But I was very fascinated about the description of him, because he sounds like a very fascinating person. And the thing I was listening, and I was like wishing I was on the podcast because I wanted to ask about the story you were telling when you realized that you wanted to marry him, because you had known him for a while, right?
9 years.
9 years, and then something clicked. What was it?
Cupid.
No.
Just
Stop.
Cupid hit you out of nowhere.
No, but it just hit
It
you.
did. It
just hit
did.
you.
I suspect I loved him somewhere deep down,
Oh my God.
but at that instant, you don't think that's possible?
No, I just, it's the most like poetic thing in the world, and I love it. I love it. No, please. Yeah. So you're saying deep down.
Right. Consciousness is a whole story. Being conscious of your environment and what you're saying and who's saying anything. There's a split between subconscious and conscious. And when it suddenly moves from the subconscious to the conscious, it's shocking.
It hit you.
It hits, just like Cupid with the arrow. I could see it.
But, and from what I remember you saying, you said that it sounded like it hit him at the same time.
Yes. It was through the eyes.
Where were you guys?
At my home in Oakview.
You pervert.
Oh, I could tell you some
Oh,
stories
No.
Tell us.
about Love Connection.
Yeah, Love Connection. She was on Love
Oh
Connection.
yeah, she was on Love Connection. The show.
She was on the show.
4 times.
Four
They kept
times?
asking me back.
Jeez Louise.
I do vaguely remember that. You
I
guys
do too.
showed
Yeah, she was on Love Connection. So you went out on the show,
Just making Harry
and
wild.
you had to go on a date. And you went to the Hearst Castle, right? I think is where the date went.
Wendy got me involved in this. Your mom. She gave me the phone number. She says, call.
Our
Oh,
Love
I call.
Connection.
That's hilarious.
Come
Yeah.
down for an interview.
Uh-huh.
And they liked me. I go, okay, so they invited
I wonder
me. Yes.
why.
First date, we went to Hearst Castle. He was a retired FBI guy, a beekeeper.
Retired FBI
Yeah.
guy turned
Like
beekeeper.
the story.
Beekeeper.
Yeah.
They can't,
You can't get a story straight. You FBI or beekeeper?
I mean,
Answer the question.
beekeeper. Gosh,
Yeah, exactly.
we went to Hearst Castle, yeah.
that's a good date.
Yeah. So
That's a good date.
What was it like? It was all very scripted, right? I'm assuming that when you were on that show.
Well, you have your date, and then they interview you. And they try to twist it a certain way, either positive, love
Wow,
blossom.
nothing's changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a glorious story
Yeah.
for the program. Or it was a dismal failure.
Yeah,
I
right,
hated
right.
the guy.
No in between. Yeah.
Yeah, God forbid it's mediocre.
Yeah,
That's
or
right.
A normal day. Yeah. Nice to meet you.
right.
Good night.
Yeah.
Right. They interview you to find out how it goes. And then they design the script based on what you did.
Jeez,
And
it's
then
exactly the same as reality TV.
Twist it.
Nothing has changed.
Okay, so you had known this man for 9 years, and then one night you're having dinner with him, and it hits you both at the same time.
Well, I can't speak for him, but I can speak for what was in his eyes.
God in heaven. No, it's just the most like romantic thing I've ever heard in my life. I can only speak for what was in his eyes.
Josh wants a super detailed description of the neurology that's going on in
Yeah.
your brain at the time.
No, he's right. I do want a specific neurology of your mind at a time.
How that all worked out.
Yeah, no. So you guys were at dinner at your home, and
Just finishing up dessert.
And okay, we don't need details, lady.
There's no more detail.
Okay. So, but leading up to then, like there had been no kind of inclinations. There had been,
Squeaks.
Yeah, I
the
saw
cat.
love in his eyes a couple of times
Really?
before, but I ignored it.
Why did you ignore it?
Afraid.
Yeah.
Why were you afraid?
Marriage is a big deal. It didn't work out once.
Yeah, I didn't want to get married. I mean, I
So you fought it,
did.
and
I've had a number of men fall in love with me,
Wow.
but I don't do that quickly.
so he kind of.
He tried, I could see it in his eyes when we'd go on a date.
Oh man, he worked you. He worked you.
They melt. Their eyes melt.
Oh
and
man.
So I just turn away, like I didn't see.
So what made you finally come around?
You're asking me for logic when it comes to love.
Or something close to it. Your best approximation.
Timing. Timing.
Being the right person, I
For
guess.
some reason.
I mean, I couldn't tell you what it was about my fiance that I was just like, yeah, you're the one. It's just you know when you know. It sounds corny and it's cliche, but it's the God's honest truth. It's just you know when you know. Yeah.
For Anissa and I, it was because we took ecstasy at the same time.
Yep, Joel, I'm not gonna do a spit.
You froze.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Okay, so
Cody.
all right, so
Speaking of knowing, you just knowing when you know, Cody. Don't make me say it. What happened last
am I
night?
the last one to know? Joel, do you know? Oh,
Cody, what happened
I don't
last night?
care.
Huh?
Doesn't matter.
Say it.
Well,
I'm the last one to know.
I'm now engaged.
Did you not know?
Yeah, I did.
Josh is the last one to know. So Cody, when did you know?
Anymore.
What was it for you? When
I knew after I'd already done it.
know for 12 hours.
God, talk about just a tightrope act.
I did it, and 6 hours later, I was like, okay, now it makes sense.
I'm committed.
All right, so how for those who don't know, Cody has been dating Karina
For 5 years, but we've been living together for 2.
Okay.
And I figure if I haven't figured it out in 5 years, I'm probably never going to figure it out.
Sure.
So
Let's hear it. How did you do it?
we were on top of a mountain.
God,
That's
I
my
got
story.
chills. I just got chills.
No, we were at a restaurant called Water's Edge
Where's that?
across from the harbor, Ventura Harbor.
Very good restaurant. I highly
Water's
recommend
Edge.
it.
I've never even heard of it.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, but after eating, after the earthquake,
Yeah, they were good.
I was like, let's go on a little walk, which is not something I
Sounds
would.
ominous.
a little walk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hear the sound of a hammer being pulled back.
Let's go on a little walk.
And I said it very seriously. Let's go on a walk.
This alley looks nice.
Yeah.
This alley with that one light at the far end, near the dumpster.
So romantic. All
Full
right,
of
so
flies
you
around
finished dinner. You said let's go on a walk.
We went on a walk, and I found an empty bench with the lamp over it. I thought, because I already scoped the place out beforehand to see if there was any spots.
Set your traps.
I looked. I looked on Google Earth. I actually did. I found this one little courtyard thing near a hotel that was next door, but I couldn't figure out how to get to it quickly from the parking lot of the restaurant. Yeah, it was. They might have changed it since that map was updated, but anyway.
So you found you on this bench.
On the bench, and I pulled out the thing. I said, "Did you get everything you wanted for your birthday?"
Pulled out the thing.
I pulled out the ring.
Oh, I'm being 13. Everybody.
I mean, he didn't want to risk her saying no.
I like how our grandma laughed first at that.
Just wanted a reminder of what she had.
Yeah.
Listen, lady. I had to make sure she was okay with it. Are you sure you want to settle for this? I mean, it's sad as hell. You like purple?
Oh my God! Stop! Stop it! Jesus. You like purple? Oh my God! Okay.
Yeah, so I asked her, because it was her birthday recently. I meant to do it on her birthday, but it fell through because she was not feeling well. So she's like, "Can we postpone it?" I was like, "Oh God, I didn't get really anything besides that." So I didn't get much in terms of presents. So we postponed it until 4 days later, and that was yesterday, and pulled out the ring. Wow. And instead of saying, "Will you marry me?" I said, "Will you have me for keeps?"
Oh man.
Because there's a backstory behind this, and I was just telling them this earlier. When I was 11 years old, this was 1998, so I probably 11 or 12, I wanted to buy the movie Goldeneye from Blockbuster.
Yeah, no, I can see it from where I sit.
It's going weird.
And I was talking to the guy over the phone, and I was like, "Do you have GoldenEye?" And I couldn't think of the word purchase because I wanted to buy it. I didn't want to rent it. And I was like, "Do you have GoldenEye for keeps?"
For keeps.
And I told her that story, and she thought it was the most funniest thing. And we occasionally throw that back and forth at each other. So that was my
God,
question.
I love that. Oh man,
I
I
tied
love
it in.
that.
Bravo.
Did she just melt?
Not as much as I thought, but she
She was shaking.
she really thought about it. She's like, "Can you give me 10 hours?"
We contemplate.
You brought out a tissue box, and she's like, "Oh no, thanks."
Yeah, I think
I'm
'cause
good.
she was in shock because I had joked about it many times,
know.
and she thought
One
it
of
was
the
a joke.
funniest things I've ever heard in my life is hearing about you faking proposing to her.
many times.
Yeah, it's the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life.
And then it'd go from me like doing a fake proposal to like me asking you if she wants to go to Yolanda's,
Dude, again, funniest thing I've ever heard in my life.
and then she'd be like, "How dare you make me think we're going to Yolanda's?"
That's when you knew.
Exactly.
That's what I knew.
Now this is
You're
when
playing
yeah,
along.
exactly.
Yeah.
You're playing along.
You should have proposed right then. All right, so by the harbor on a bench,
Yeah.
you popped the question. Were you like full on down on one knee?
Yeah, briefly. I didn't get down on one knee until like halfway through, because we were both sitting down. So I realized, I should be on my knee traditionally. Otherwise, this won't work.
She literally won't believe it.
Everything's ruined. Yeah.
She probably wouldn't believe you.
It better be authentic.
Yeah. Where did you get the ring?
Jewelry Couture.
Oh, that's where I got mine.
Really?
Yeah.
Where's
Oh,
that?
near the mall. Across from the mall.
How long ago did you get it?
Father's Day.
Yeah.
She went to go visit her dad on Father's Day, so I took
I'll
that.
show her.
How dare you go to your dad?
So how long have you known that you were going to propose?
I didn't know I was going to.
Things
You bought a ring for
Okay, let me rephrase that. How long did you know before you decided to buy a ring?
No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I knew. I kind of was planning on it like last year, like December, and then I kept pushing the date, and then Dylan had his, and I didn't want to do it too close. I was gonna do it Valentine's Day. I thought, that's
Why are
still
you
too
pushing the
close.
date? Just like
I don't know.
just
I just thought, like, what's another 3 months? What's another? I just, postponing it, and then I thought, you know what? It's there now or never.
You also said that the movie that you've been working on like religiously for the last 13 years, you wanted to finish that before you kind of devoted your time. Because it does take away your attention when you got this going on and it's distracting. So I think it's also
Yeah.
fair.
man. All
Yeah.
right. So wow.
So,
Holy hell.
Congratulations.
So
yeah, thank you.
yeah, that's awesome. So I imagine that there's no date or anything like that, right?
No.
Yeah.
No.
We'll take our time.
I want you to set it the same date as
That's
Dylan.
what we were making a joke.
Yeah.
It's even competing weddings.
Yeah.
No one shows
Yeah.
up to mine and Amanda's.
Cody, just choose. Everyone choose.
Everyone choose.
Yeah.
You must decide.
That's what the
we're
invitation
just-
says. Who will you choose?
Yeah.
Like a trailer.
Do not let me see what his.
We'll just combine them. We'll just have it right after yours.
Yeah. Yeah.
Knock
Right.
them out.
Right.
So frugal.
We're all assembled, so let's do it.
Please.
Together.
Catered by leftovers.
Man. Catered by leftovers.
Oh, that's great.
Dude.
Well,
I
now
would
we-
run to that wedding.
Now we got to get Josh organized.
Yeah, Josh, when are you getting married?
What time is it?
Who was that girl at the?
What's that
never mind.
word?
Maybe if she watches, and I don't want to call her out.
She doesn't watch. I have no idea who you're talking about. But she doesn't watch.
Nobody watches.
Doesn't have a watch.
No, I will be. I can say this. I'll be the last one to get married, but I'll get married at some point.
You think so?
Yeah.
What do you want in a gal?
Uh-huh.
Just big old boobs.
What kind of girl would you set Josh up with, Grandma?
What kind of girl?
Yeah.
Yeah, one with big boobs.
Oh my God! Thank you.
Does it have to be a girl?
I'll take anything.
Bamboo.
Wide back, whatever. No, I mean, as much as I am the consummate bachelor, like, I feel like I'm still even more so like a general romanticist. Like, I like the idea of getting married and.
What kind of gal are you looking for? Didn't I ask that already, or no?
Yeah, I was just trying to avoid the question.
I thought.
No, I just actually answered it. Big old boobs. No.
Aside from that,
Yeah, no. Someone who. Okay, so no, you were saying earlier, someone who gets on your nerves is someone who talks a lot, right? All right. So I do that. I got lots of ideas about nothing.
what makes you think you do that?
What makes me do? I don't know. It's terminal. It's tumor. It's born by power lines. I have no idea. But what I want is a girl who can challenge me in certain areas. Like if I recommend an author or a book or a philosophy, I want a girl to come back and say no because of this. If I can get that, I will.
Some intellectual stimulation?
I will bow at that altar.
Some thought?
Even if it's just basic arithmetic.
Yeah.
He just needs anybody to say no.
2 + 2 is 5.
Yeah. And I'm like, where did you come from?
You're some kind of alien.
Yeah. You're some kind of something. Yeah, no, I would absolutely love that if I could meet a girl who did that. Then
Actually, I wrote down qualities I want in a man.
Did you really?
Oh, absolutely.
Before you married Harry?
Yeah. Yes.
And did he? Well, it's funny because like you and Harry are, they're polar opposites in a lot of ways. You guys, I would not picture Harry as being the guy that would be like, yeah, I'm gonna go, because you have a exuberant personality where it's just kind of bouncing off the wall.
I don't know what he saw in me.
Well, he even, I remember he very distinctly, I think we asked him about this, like not like point
Hey, what do you
blank.
see in her?
No, it was just kind of like what is it? This, Harry was more conservative, reserved, just kind of quiet, and only he very intellectual. And he just one time just kind of smirked about it. He was like, "I like crazy women."
Oh man, man after
Well,
my
he
own,
got one.
Man after my own heart.
He told me once I was very low maintenance,
I don't believe it.
but I was high cost.
This man was obviously terrified.
Well, the next morning I thought about this for a while, and I went back to him and I said, "You know what you are?"
This poor man was trying to give you a compliment. Well, what was he?
I said, "You are very high maintenance
Low cost.
and low cost."
That works out perfectly.
Yeah, you guys were meant for
I think
each other.
we sparred well.
Yeah.
Let me punch you
No,
back.
isn't that worth so much?
On one date, he asked me, "Do you believe in zeitgeist?" And to myself, I said, "What the?"
Is this after you had that moment at dinner when you guys? Yeah.
I must have blathered something,
Oh, and yeah.
but it got him.
So what was your response?
I said, "It's everywhere."
And then just
It's everywhere.
and clothes just went a flying.
He's doing laundry.
Well, we used to play strip poker.
No, listen, I was listening to the last podcast, you pervert. You were just going beach to beach naked as sin.
Naked as sin.
Yeah.
Living your best life in your 50s and 60s, apparently.
Yeah.
Well, it was so boring.
Not even nude beaches.
Yeah, just taking your clothes off at every beach you can get to.
It sounds like you're like the latter half of your life has been way better than the first half of your life.
Oh yes, oh, definitely. I paid a high price for this.
I paid a high price.
I paid a high price for this fun.
Because everyone always talks about like the golden years or like the years everyone's like, yeah, getting older sucks, but you make it sound like it's just like a wild ride.
It was a miserable. Well, those first 40 years are miserable.
Oh man, they'll get you.
The last 40 have been great.
It's so funny, like it's the opposite.
But that is so reassuring though, because you don't hear that.
You don't?
No, you don't hear that.
What do you hear?
Well, listen,
I don't feel good anymore.
or we live in a
Sexy, all
culture
that stuff.
that worships youth, and so everyone who's successful is 20 years old.
For my age group, I'm top of the line.
Hell yeah, you are.
For every age group
Is that what
I've
you
been
told
in.
him? Listen, everybody, I'm top of the line. No, but really, you don't hear that. We live in a culture that worships
That's why I don't
youth.
get along with most people.
Yeah,
Because they're so negative.
yeah.
Give me some positive news.
Well, how do we make them more positive?
Yeah.
Like, what's the secret?
How do we do
There's
that?
nothing you can do for anybody else. Just be positive yourself. I do one good deed every day. That's
Really?
my philosophy. One good deed.
What did you do today?
Pardon?
What did you
She
do
came on this
today?
podcast when I asked her to.
I was here.
All right, yesterday, what did you do?
I probably gave somebody a painting. I do one good deed. I help somebody on the corner. I ask, do you need any help if I'm walking? And they look like they need. Pick up a piece of trash.
Yeah.
Leave a restroom cleaner than when I came in.
Yeah. Even if no one sees, so
I don't,
no one knows.
Oh, especially not.
Yeah.
I think this is a very selfish activity.
Mm-hmm.
When you do something good for somebody, you get so much more in return.
Yeah.
It's almost like an act of selfishness.
Oh man, you love
Because
Ayn
I
Rand.
derive so much joy.
Altruism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not
Okay.
really, but kind of.
My friends say you're crazy. Stop thinking that way. Well,
But what choice do you have? Who do you do it for then if no one's watching?
I don't do it for anybody else.
It's right. You do it for you
I do it for me.
because it makes you feel good. You do a good deed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Can you be president now?
I think
No,
Trump.
I don't want anything to do with politics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's too dirty.
You'd be an interesting politician.
You'd be the
No.
best politician. I love
No,
it.
I'd never survive.
Yeah, I know because
too
you're not an evil
sensitive.
person.
Too sensitive.
Yeah.
But Harry and I used to play strip poker.
Okay, you know what? We're trying to avoid the subject.
No, we're not.
Well, yeah, I
wanna hear
remember.
details.
Well, we didn't cover this yet.
Okay, hold on. So wait. So with your friends in the neighborhood or who? With who?
Harry and I would play strip poker.
Just you and him.
Yes.
Oh my god.
This is getting weird.
Wait, hold on. Like.
No,
over and
I
over
wouldn't
again?
do that with strangers or neighbors.
But you went to a nudist
Yeah, you went to a
colony,
nudist-
so what's
Yeah.
the difference?
But we weren't. It's different.
Wait, hold on. So you and Harry, is this something you did like when you were dating?
No, and we were married.
Oh my god, why would you ever do that? You don't want to see him naked.
He's being
Just for the
sarcastic.
game of it. The game of it.
So-
we always took a deck of cards wherever we went.
Really?
Yes.
Strip poker in the restaurant. Yeah.
Yeah, at Caro's. Yeah.
I always had one in my purse.
Yeah.
Along
A
with
deck
the-
of cards.
the
People
gun.
used to give us decks of cards.
Wait, so okay, yeah.
I had a restaurant owner give us a deck of cards once because he saw us playing cards every time we came in.
Yeah.
Naked as a
Oh,
jaybird.
but that's why I had those bracelets you told me about.
Oh, yeah.
I used to carry those jangle bracelets.
Hold on. What I want to know is
And-
when is the last time you guys played strip poker? How many
Well,
years
he
ago?
died 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay,
so
4 or 5 years ago. But okay, so then when's the last
before
time?
that,
Yeah.
a couple of years.
Wow. And you just took a gander.
So you're like
But
in
I-
your 60s.
But I
60s,
used those bracelets.
So did,
I had like 15 of them.
did either one of you ever get fully naked?
No, never. I never got fully naked.
Oh, because you won at poker.
That's why I always won at poker.
Yeah, and he was just freezing.
He stopped playing with me.
He's like, this isn't fair.
God no.
I'm not winning anything on
Look,
this.
if I could live half the life you've lived, I win. Please. I would love it.
You definitely got some stories, I gotta say.
It's been great. It's
Yeah.
been really great.
Well, it sounds like you're like not even close to done.
Yeah, you're still like getting started. It
Yeah.
Sounds like you have a lot more to do.
That's darn right.
Well, like I said, it's been great having you on, but I think we are out of time for this podcast. But
thank you, Dylan.
Thank you for
Boys,
coming on.
guys.
Thank you.
I really appreciate
This was my
you
most
all.
favorite podcast we've ever had in our lives. I absolutely loved it. I really did.
Thank you.
I
I'm
loved it.
happy to be here. I'm very honored
Yeah, thank you for coming on
to
and
play another game with you.
yeah, it's been a joy for sure. Like I said, you're our only grandparent between all of us, so
You win.
you win by default.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes. All right. Well, if you
You have a way
guys
with
are
words.
loving this episode and want to see more of our Grandma Gwen in future episodes, you should subscribe to our YouTube channel and check us out on SoundCloud and iTunes. Follow us there and Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We post new stuff there all the time. So we will be back next week with a new exciting episode. Maybe not with our grandma, but she will probably come back for
I
another
hope.
one in the future. But until then, we'll see you guys next week. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.